she was in a very good mood. Her luck continued to come to her. On the way back home, Seori met a man. That person was Uncle Kang, whom she hadn't seen for a long time. That year he was helped by Seori's father. Now Uncle Kang, thanks to his efforts, has opened a very large-scale factory. People around him even gave him a nickname, the King of Imports. Uncle Kang's factory is also considered the largest in Dongdaemun. In the following days, Seori suddenly disappeared. Minhee and her gang thought that Seori had been harmed by them to the point of mental breakdown, so she chose to disappear and live a normal life. Until the day the fashion show took place, Suju followed a strange number to the hotel. The first step in Seori's revenge plan also began. From BB Famous, Seori learned something surprising. Suju often did physical transactions with rich men, so Seori impersonated someone else and used 30 million won to trick Suju into coming here. After Suju learned that her secret was discovered by Seori, she immediately knelt down and begged Seori. If this matter were to get out, Suju's career would be ruined. At this time, Seori immediately made a request to her, which was to use money to buy a front row seat to watch the show. So Seori relied on this VIP position to enter the show. Moreover, Seori's appearance also caught Jun Kyung's attention. He only stared at Seori sitting on the opposite side. Even when the show ended, Jun Kyung still looked at Seori. Seori on this side was targeting a famous female model with 4,500,000 fans. That was also the purpose of Seori coming here. After the show ended, Seori brought fresh flowers to the other celebrity. The outfit Seori was wearing was borrowed from the company director. It was an outfit from the new collection this season. The other girl also had an identical outfit. When she saw Seori wearing the same outfit as her, the girl couldn't help but compliment Seori a few sentences. Seori heard her compliment and immediately knew she had succeeded because the outfit she was wearing was the style that the female model liked the most. Seori was worried whether the pants would match or not. Luckily, the female model really liked Seori's way of dressing. The two of them even happily took a photo together. Then the female model posted the photo on her personal account. When the photo received a lot of attention, Minhee and her gang could only feel angry and jealous. After Seori got the help of the famous model, her career developed very well. The mission with Uncle Kang was also gradually completed smoothly. Seori's store also had explosive sales. People all over the world were buying their clothes. This time, Seori was really famous. She had successfully built her own career. That day, Seori went to Jun Kyung's company again. Because she had replaced the masked sales boss before, now she wanted to cooperate with Jun Kyung. She could guarantee that she would sell out all the inventory. Jun Kyung saw Seori expressing her desire to cooperate, but he told her to stop. When Seori wanted to say more, Jun Kyung said that he would not refuse to cooperate with her, simply because this was what Seori wanted. At this moment, Seori was moved by this man. Jun Kyung also took the opportunity to kiss her. Today, a big event took place. Celebrities were invited to participate in a promotional activity. When the famous idol girls arrived at the party, they immediately attracted a group of reporters to interview them. When Minhee was being interviewed, everyone was immediately surprised. Everyone's eyes looked back. Even the reporters who were interviewing Minhee immediately ran over. Minhee and her friends were left standing still. They looked angrily at Seori, who was slowly walking down the stairs. Seori now had 1.3 million fans. At the same time, she was the celebrity with the fastest rising popularity this week. No matter where she went, she was the center of everyone's attention. Major stations and brands were all here. They all just wanted to get close to the girl named Seori. When Minhee looked at the back that she hated so much, her hatred surged again. Then, amidst everyone's cheers, Seori and the celebrities gathered together. On the contrary, the celebrities stared at Seori with jealous expressions. This was definitely the most boring promotional activity they had ever participated in. Even when the next activity started, Minhee and her group were arranged to sit in the back row. Not long after, the famous female model Choi Bom also appeared here. Everyone was surprised to see Choi Bom, but unexpectedly, Choi Bom walked towards Seori. This scene was immediately captured by the crowd. Seori's brother and close friend also looked at Choi Bom with great admiration. The younger brother was very proud to see Seori dating a famous person. Jaehee's group was not so proud. Jaehee was furious and drank one glass after another. The girls were extremely jealous when they witnessed this scene. They were not sparing in scolding Seori. Meanwhile, Seori was laughing and joking happily with Choi Bom. They scolded Seori a lot. Not only that, Minhee suddenly raised her voice. Seori in the VIP area in front heard it. She greeted Choi Bom and left. Seori walked step by step to Jaehee's group. When Seori faced the group of people who always spoke ill of her, of course she did not miss the opportunity to insult them. Minhee criticized Seori for being a poor person before, but now she had millions of fans, so she thought she was very good. But Seori felt that she was very good. Seori was not afraid to criticize these people. They used to treat her like a cheap commodity. Seori asked if they didn't pay much attention to her family background before, but now everything had completely changed. After saying that, Seori immediately left. Jaehee saw Seori's attitude and went crazy. Jaehee stood up and wanted to pull Seori back to argue, but Jaehee accidentally tripped in front of everyone. Not only that, she also knocked over the wine table next to her. That caused the wine to spill all over Seori. At this moment, everyone's attention was immediately focused on Jaehee. Her friends did not want to lose face, so they quickly helped her up and left. Choi Bom saw that Seori's skirt was splashed with wine and wanted to find some tissue to wipe. Seori's boyfriend and his best friend also came from afar. The girl girl was worried when she saw that Seori's skirt was stained with wine. Although this was a brand-sponsored skirt, Seori could buy it back, so she wasn't too worried. This incident made Seori realize that her life had changed. She used to be someone who couldn't borrow a skirt from the company, but in a short time, she put on an expensive skirt. While she was still confused, she met Taejon, who was going in. At this time, a girl's pleading voice came from the tunnel next to her. That person came to find her brother, but she was told that her brother had done something stupid. Her brother was the one who had died from a drug overdose a few days ago. This movement also attracted the attention of Seori and Taejon. Now everyone who knew what happened that day was here. Sihyun didn't know what was going on and went to ask the girl, but Sihyun was interrupted by Taejon. He immediately ordered his boss to take the girl away from there. Right now, only Junkyung knows why his brother did that. Junkyung quickly left with Seori. On the way back, he didn't tell her the identity of the dead man. Junkyung only comforted Seori that he would do his best to protect her. Meanwhile, Sihyun was still there. Now she had guessed everything. Sihyun angrily questioned her husband about whether the man was the one who died from drug use, but their conversation was heard by Min Hye, standing in a corner. Returning home, Sihyun found time to ask Junkyung out to talk. Because she was the person he used to love, he also told her the truth that after the incident, the man who had overdosed on drugs was cremated. When his relatives came to the bar, Taejon said that he had done something stupid. Junkyung told Sihyun that he would take care of the rest, but she refused his kindness. Because Taejon wanted to hide Chaehee's crime, he committed this sin. During the conversation, Sihyun remembered the past memories. It turned out that Junkyung had bought the limited edition outfit for Sihyun. They were originally very happy, but because Sihyun's father wanted to run for president, he forced her to marry Taejon. Because Taejon was the most powerful person, only Taejon could help Sihyun's father become president. Because of this, Sihyun and Junkyung broke up. Now that Sihyun saw the person she loved in front of her, her heart was truly broken. On this side, Seori was fixing her hair when she received a message from BBB Famous. But this time, BB Famous's attitude made Seori feel unusual. B Famous questioned Seori just because Seori replied to her messages slowly. Famous also asked Seori questions that were very difficult to answer. Then BB Famous even followed Seori's secondary account. Although Seori didn't know who Miss was, Famous helped her very enthusiastically. This made Seori always feel that something was very unusual, so Seori once again asked about Biba Famous's identity. But this time, Biba Famous was angry and didn't bother to reply to Seori's messages, but B Famous texted Chaehee instead. Because Seori's actions this time made BB Famous angry, B Famous went to the person who had the worst relationship with Seori to talk. BB Famous told Chaehee that I know why Seori has achieved the achievements she has now. Once Seori's secrets are revealed, she will lose everything. At the same time, a huge incident happened last night. That time, Min Hye discovered a shocking incident. She used a fake account to send the news to the editorial office. Very quickly, the news of a celebrity on drugs causing a murder became a hot topic. Taejon here ordered his subordinates to immediately find and delete all those articles. Seori had some problems, so she didn't look at her phone. At this time, Junkyung knew about the incident, so he also went to Taejon. Junkyung was extremely angry and questioned how Taejon handled everything. Junkyung wanted Taejon to tell the whole truth, because only then would innocent people not be affected. Taejon angrily asked Junkyung if it was because of Seori that he dared to make such a suggestion, right? But Taejon advised Junkyung to take care of himself, because if Taejon's reputation was damaged, Junkyung's company would also be affected. On this side, Seori was busy preparing a live stream with a Chinese idol. Until now, she still didn't know about the information online. Although Seori's best friend knew about it, she didn't tell Seori because of the live stream. Sihyun found out about everything from Junkyung, so she got angry and argued with her husband. Taejon asked Sihyun what he should do. Should he let everyone know the truth? By then, Chaehee's drug use would also be exposed. But Sihyun thought that her husband just didn't want his business to be affected. He wasn't worried about Chaehee at all. Sihyun's words made Taejon mad. He even suspected that she and Junkyung were having an affair. Now he seemed to have changed into a different person, no longer calm as before. Then Sihyun went to find Seori and told her everything that had happened. Seori was very surprised, but Sihyun said that she would handle this properly. Sihyun wouldn't implicate Seori. Sihyun just wanted to let Seori know the current situation so she wouldn't worry too much. Seori advised Sihyun not to continue hiding the truth because drug use is a serious crime. But Sihyun frankly told Seori that if the truth was exposed, not only would Chaehee and Taejon's reputations be damaged, but Seori's career would also be affected. At this moment, Seori really didn't know what to do. The next day, when Seori met the Chinese idol, she kept thinking about the drug use incident. But in the end, Seori still chose to complete this important live stream. Very quickly, the beautiful Zhang Wei was invited here. But something unexpected happened. All 1 million packages of inventory were sold out by Zhang Wei. Everyone there was extremely surprised by this good result. All the products were sold out. There were more than 300,000 people watching the live stream. This result showed that Seori and Zhang Wei's first cooperation was extremely successful. This also helped Seori's followers increase quite a bit. Now Seori's fan base has reached 11,500,000. After the live stream ended, Seori immediately went to the police station to report case. She stated that at the party a few days ago, several people around her used drugs. One of the men died from a drug overdose. Seori Seo-ri knew that if she revealed this, her dream of becoming a celebrity would almost end. Because there were quite a few powerful people involved in this matter. Actually, on the way here, Seo-ri didn't know why she reported it. She also quickly suffered the consequences of her wrong decision. While Seo-ri was giving her statement, her conversation with the police was overheard by the chief. He immediately called Taejeon. He was one of the people who handled the corpse. The director, because he had been bribed by Taejeon every year. This time he had removed the upright policeman from the investigation team. On this side, Taejeon's subordinates had just investigated the person who first leaked the news online. When Taejeon saw Seo-ri on the list, he suddenly thought of a way to make her lose everything. On this side, Min-hae and her gang were gathering at the massage parlor. Chae-hee showed them the conversation between Seo-ri and BBB Famous. They finally understood that Seo-ri had someone helping her, which was why she had achieved her current achievements. While everyone was discussing how to deal with Seo-ri, the door suddenly opened. The person who entered was the employee of the massage parlor. She was also the younger sister of the victim who died of drug overdose. Because Taejeon had compensated her a lot of money, she didn't come to cause trouble again. But was that really the truth? Because the conversation was interrupted, Chae-hee and her friends were in a bad mood today. They quickly chased the female employee away. After that, the four of them discussed for a long time, but could not find a way to deal with Seo-ri, so they had to go home. After returning, Min-hae secretly contacted BBB Famous. Min-hae was determined to harm Seo-ri, so she sent a series of messages to that mysterious person. All the messages expressed Min-hae's hatred for Seo-ri. Min-hae hoped that BBB Famous would help her harm Seo-ri. Very quickly, BB Famous agreed. After that, BB Famous started spreading bad rumors about Seo-ri online. All the newspapers were filled with articles cursing her. Not only that, BB Famous also made up stories to damage Seo-ri's reputation. Then BBB Famous made up a picture of itself. When the bad news was posted on social media, Seo-ri immediately became the topic of everyone's discussion. But this time she was severely scolded by netizens. Min-hae told her friends the good news. After reading the news, they all praised BBB Famous. When Jun-kyung heard the news, he immediately drove to pick up Seo-ri. At this time, she still didn't know what happened. When she heard the news, she was immediately panicked and scared. Of course, Seo-ri knew that BB Famous was behind this, but she didn't expect the speed at which the news spread to be so terrible. However, Jun-kyung now trusted Seo-ri's character so much that this time, no matter how much she refused, he was determined to help and defend her. Seo-ri set the livestream time at 9 p.m. She would clear up the fake news spreading online. But the next move against Seo-ri had arrived. Taejeon immediately went to Min-hae. When Min-hae saw young Master Taejeon come to find her, she immediately knew the seriousness of the problem. She knelt down on the ground and begged him to spare her. Taejeon saw Min-hae's pitiful appearance and his goal was achieved. While Seo-ri was live streaming to explain the fake news, Taejeon put her at a disadvantage. Min-hae was also live streamed after being threatened by Taejeon. Unexpectedly, Min-hae's live stream shares exceeded Seo-ri's because everything Min-hae said was blamed on Seo-ri. From bullying to drug shock, it was all Seo-ri's fault. Min-hae said that she kept quiet because Seo-ri threatened her. Seo-ri forced Min-hae to lie. Not only that, Min-hae also said that Seo-ri was a drug addict who regularly took drugs. Seo-ri's mother watched Min-hae's live stream and fainted on the spot. But Seo-hyun and Jun-kyung still trusted Seo-ri. The next day, Jun went to Taejeon. They all knew that all of this was done by Taejeon. Jun-kyung threatened Taejeon that he was also present that day. At the same time, Jun-kyung threw out a statement. Jun-kyung meant that he would do everything to protect the person he loved. Because he was also present at the drug incident that day, he was also considered a witness. Taejeon was so angry that he couldn't say anything when he heard Jun-kyung's threat. Then, Jun-kyung and Seo-hyun left together. Seo-hyun said that she also wanted to help clear Seo-ri's name. Then, Jun-kyung drove to Seo-ri's place. But on the way, he had a serious accident. Taejeon had someone harm Jun-kyung to destroy the evidence. At this time, the battle of celebrities was about to come to an end. No one would have thought that the mysterious person behind all this would be this person. It turned out that this girl was BBB Famous. No one would have thought that a girl who massaged customers could live in such an environment. The messy room was full of trash, the stench was strong, and there was fried chicken everywhere. It was hard to imagine that this was a place for living people. Every day after work, she logged into that mysterious account. The reason Chung-won was able to find out so much information was because the celebrities on the internet often came to the massage parlor where she worked. While they were talking, she accidentally revealed a lot of dirty things. These things became tools for Chung-won to carry out her plot. Every time Chung-won massaged celebrities, she could secretly take out her phone to record. She lived in a harsh environment, so her nature became bad. At night, Chung-won even went around gossiping about others for fun. She considered it a job. The reason her identity was exposed so quickly was because Seo-ri had lost everything. It turned out that a few days ago, Seo-ri received a phone call from Seo-hyun. When Seo-ri went to the hospital, she found Jun-kyung lying unconscious on the hospital bed. Then Seo-ri received another phone call. The caller said that Uncle Kang had died. Seo-ri was now the target of cyberbullying. Although she had sold 1 million items, they were all returned. Uncle Kang couldn't accept it, so he did something stupid. Before he died, he left Seo-ri a suicide note. Uncle Kang didn't blame her because she told him to be more careful. They should have stopped right then. They had predicted the situation, but it was also because Uncle Kang was too greedy and didn't listen to Seo-ri. Now the situation has turned out to be beyond saving. After Uncle Kang died, BB Famous used his death to blame the employee for doing something stupid. She continued to post online to humiliate Seo-ri. She said that everything was instigated by Seo-ri. Uncle Kang's death would make Seo-ri shirk her responsibility. The public outcry soon grew. Many netizens who didn't know the truth began to believe BB Famous. They kept saying that Seo-ri should die quickly. On the other hand, the person who benefited the most from this incident was Min-hae. Because Min-hae had previously been robbed of attention by Seo-ri. Now that Seo-ri was being criticized by everyone, Min-hae became more famous and loved by everyone. Taking this opportunity, Min-hae and her gang started a live stream. The live stream brought in huge profits. Seon was extremely angry on this side. She called Seo-ri, but no one answered. At this time, Taejeon also entered. Taejeon took the file and placed it next to Seon. It turned out that Seon already knew Taejeon's scheme. This time, she proposed to break up. The file was the divorce papers. As Taejeon faced each of his wife's questions, he began to threaten Sehyun. Taejeon reminded Sehyun to think about her father. Whether her father became a member of the National Assembly or not was all up to Sehyun. Because Sehyun's father had done so many evil things, if he was no longer Taejeon's father-in-law, all the charges that Taejeon had tried to stop him would be handed over to the police. Sehyun silently bowed her head when Taejeon threatened her, but the more he spoke, the more outrageous he became. Taejeon even started to approach Sehyun to humiliate her. He was differentiating her class from ordinary people. Sehyun couldn't stand his contemptuous actions, so this time she was determined to ask for a divorce. Sehyun had previously thought about her family and her family, but now she would make the right decision. Sehyun strongly stood up against Taejeon. Now she chose to protect herself. On this side, Seo-ri looked at Jun-kyung for the last time. She decided to end this painful life of hers. Not long after Seo-ri left, Seon was also outside the hospital room. Through Jun-kyung's mother's words, Seon learned that Seo-ri had also just come here. She had now gone up to the rooftop. Seon realized something was wrong, so she quickly ran up to the rooftop. At this time, Seo-ri was standing at the edge of the railing. No matter how strong Seo-ri was, she still couldn't accept it. When her relatives left one by one, Seo-ri couldn't stand this unfair world anymore. The situation was beyond her control. Sehyun rushed up to stop Seo-ri. Seo-ri didn't expect that the mistakes she made would involve others. It was because Seo-ri was too stubborn that Uncle Kang had to make such a negative choice. Seo-ri regretted not listening to Taejeon's warning. Seon kept comforting the poor girl. At the same time, Seon told Seo-ri that Jun-kyung would definitely wake up. Seo-ri had to be strong and continue to live until the end. Jun-kyung protected Seo-ri like that. For him, she had to try until the end. In the end, Seo-ri did not choose death. Fortunately, Seo-ri had Seon's encouragement, so she decided to fight one last time. Before Seo-ri acted, she told Seon that if this last time was successful, she would have a chance to become famous again. Even then, Seo-ri could become extremely famous, and then she would punish those who had harmed her. After hanging up the phone, Seo-ri stepped on the gas again and drove straight to the sea. The next day, Seo-ri's departure became the hottest news on social media. This also temporarily silenced those who had spoken ill of her. 3 months after the incident, although it had taken some time for the matter to subside, but there was still a lot of news about Seo-ri spreading everywhere. Until one day Seo-ri, who had died, suddenly started a live stream. Moreover, she revealed her true face. The number of people watching the broadcast suddenly increased by 10,000. The number of viewers continued to increase. More and more people were interested in Seo-ri's story. People were curious and clicked to watch. Among them, Chung-won was the one who commented the most. She kept asking why Seo-ri was still alive, and Seo-ri's resurrection also scared Min-hae and her gang. After that, Seo-ri's journey of revenge officially began. While Seo-ri was getting everyone's attention, she told all the terrible things Min-hae's group had done to her. Seo-ri also told the story of the drug-shot body being secretly cremated. She revealed all the evidence of Taejeon's crime. Currently, the interest in the case is too great, and netizens are also asking the police to investigate truth. In addition, the story of the upright police officer being transferred by the chief was also exposed. The prosecutor had no choice but to order Taejeon's arrest. That same day, the police went to Taejeon's place to conduct a search. At this time, he was still destroying all the evidence, and he ordered his subordinates to find Seo-ri's IP address. However, the reporters went to Taejeon's house to hunt for news. At the same time, the doctor was also extremely scared and packed his luggage to prepare to go abroad because he was the one who hid the body for Taejeon. Unexpectedly, he was still stopped by the police. Smart Min-hae went to the prison early to visit Seo-ri's mother. At this time, Min-hae also intended to deceive Seo-ri's mother that she and Seo-ri had a very good relationship. Min-hae wanted Seo-ri's mother to advise Seo-ri to forgive her, but Min-hae did not know that on the day she broadcast live, Seo-ri's mother had already seen her evil nature. When it was almost dark, the police found Seo-ri's address. She is currently in the suburbs of Seoul. At the same time, the people who received the news were Taejeon and Sehyun. Taejeon immediately sent someone to that place. Sehyun told the news to Jun-kyung, who had just woken up. Jun-kyung was the closest, so he quickly went there first. But when he rushed into the room, he saw Seo-ri's real face on the broadcast. This scared Jun-kyung. It turned out the person broadcasting was not Seo-ri, but her best friend. The best friend used AI technology to change her face. The person who helped her hide her IP address was Seo-ri's younger brother. Everything was a plot to lure BB Famous into appearing. The moment Chung-won logged into the account, Seo-ri's younger brother found out her IP address. At that time, Seo-ri would personally deal with Chung-won. This was exactly what what So-ri wanted. After So-ri found out about BB Famous's identity, she pretended to be a customer who came to the massage parlor alone. So-ri called Chung-won to give her a massage. Chung-won greeted the customer enthusiastically upon meeting them. Chung-won then quickly found a way to chat with the customer. When Chung-won saw that So-ri did not respond, she showed an extremely angry expression. It was not until Chung-won saw So-ri's face clearly that she was extremely surprised. Only then did So-ri question Chung-won. So-ri asked Chung-won if she found it fun to insult and curse others. While So-ri was devastated and unable to fight back, Chung-won kept typing on the keyboard to force her to death. At first, So-ri wanted to end it all, but then she was determined to catch the person who had harmed her. So-ri's constant complaints scared Chung-won. Chung-won went crazy and ran out of there, preparing to get her things and leave, but Si-yeon blocked her way downstairs. When she saw that there was no way to run, she broke the glass door. Until now, she still didn't feel regret for her mistakes. Chung-won still cursed famous people who live better than her because their daily expenses could be equal to her miserable work in a year. The times they bragged made Chung-won's life like hell. At that time, she felt inferior to herself. She felt that she was inferior and couldn't earn as much money as others. But instead of trying to work as hard as others, she found ways to harm others. At this time, she seemed to have gone crazy, ignoring the advice of others. In the end, Chung-won chose to end her own life. At this time, all the truth was revealed. Jae-hee was arrested for being involved in drugs. Suju was found out by her husband as a bar girl, so he asked for a divorce. The short-haired girl who was live streaming cried and kept apologizing to So-ri. Netizens also kept scolding her. At this time, Min-hae was also packing her luggage to leave, but she was stopped by her best friend. This person was the wife of the doctor who helped Taejeon hide the body. Min-hae was the one who publicly revealed about hiding the body online. At this time, Min-hae not only lost her career, but also her friendship was broken. All the people involved in the drug shock incident were arrested by the police. Taejeon, who had the highest power, was also denounced by Jun-kyung. Jun-kyung's strength was not inferior to Taejeon. Jun-kyung was also a witness who saw Taejeon move the body. What awaited Taejeon were the days in prison. After everything was settled, So-ri and Si-hyun went to Chung-won's house again. They wanted to see what her living conditions were like. But after the two of them went inside, they discovered that Chung-won's place was so bad. The messiness of this room was exactly like her personality. Then Si-hyun opened her tablet and showed it to So-ri. Her current number of followers had reached nearly 4 million. Netizens were eagerly waiting for So-ri's return. But this time, So-ri chose to give up. She no longer cared about fame. Now she just wanted to live as a confident and happy girl. So-ri was very proud that she had nearly 4 million fans, but she couldn't know if those people had become her anti-fans because of other reasons. Today's movie ends here. Thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye and see you again.